Good morning, students. In the last class, we have discussed the answers of in-text questions of tissues chapter. Now, let us discuss the answers for the chapter and exercises. First question, define the term tissue. We have discussed this thing many times. Tissue is a group of cells, and these cells of same origin, similar in structure and their function. What is tissue? Tissue is a group of cells of the same origin, similar in structure and function. Second question. How many types of elements together make up the xylem tissue? Name them. Xylem tissue is made up of 4 elements. They are tracheids, vessels, xylem parenchyma, and xylem fibers. Third question. How are simple tissues different from complex tissues in plants? Let us see. Simple tissues are made up of only one type of cells, whereas complex tissues are made up of more than one type of cells. In simple tissues, all the cells are similar in origin and their structure. In complex tissues, the cells have different origin and structure. And simple tissues are mainly utilized for storage and mechanical support, whereas complex tissues are mainly utilized for water and food transport. Examples for simple tissues are parenchyma, collenchyma, sclerenchyma. And examples for complex tissues are xylem and phloem. Fourth question. Differentiate between parenchyma, collenchyma, and sclerenchyma on the basis of their cell wall. So, parenchyma is made up of one type of cells. Collenchyma is made up of one type of cells. Sclerenchyma is made up of another type of cells. And since all of them are part of plant body, cells of all these 3 types of tissues have cell walls. But are these cell walls in these different simple tissues the same? No. Then how the cell walls of these tissues different from one to other? Parenchyma cell walls are thin and are made up of only one type of polysaccharide, that is cellulose. They are all even, means all corners are even in parenchyma. The cell walls of, the corners of the cell walls, all of them are in even size and they are thin generally. Collenchyma, the cell walls are thickened at the corners. They are not even in all the area of the cell wall. Cell wall is not even in all the sides. At corners, the cell wall got thickened. And the cell wall is made up of cellulose and pectin. And at the corners, this cellulose and pectin is more deposited. So, the corners of the collenchyma, the corners of the cell wall of the collenchymatous tissue, they are thickened. Sclerenchyma. The cell walls are not just thickened at the corners but entirely, means they have got even thickness. They are not thin, they are very thick, and there is deposition of lignin. See, in collenchyma there is pectin, in sclerenchyma there is lignin along with the cellulose. In parenchyma there is only cellulose. What are the functions of the stomata? Next question. First of all, stomata are what? What are they? Stomata are the tiny pores in the epidermis of the leaf. Stomata carries out two important functions. Stomata carry out two important functions. They are gaseous exchange and transpiration. Gaseous exchange means by photosynthesis oxygen is released, by respiration carbon dioxide is released. How would they go out from the plant body? Through stomata. So, and how the needed carbon dioxide for photosynthesis enter into the plant leaves? Through stomata. And how would the oxygen needed for respiration enters into plant body? Through stomata. So, release of CO2 and entry of O2, or release of O2 and entry of CO2, that is simply gaseous exchange, occurs through stomata. Evaporation of water in the form of water vapor through the tiny pores of the leaves is known as transpiration. So, transpiration occurs through stomata. Next, diagrammatically show the difference between the three types of muscle fibers. What are the three types of muscle fibers? Skeletal muscles, cardiac muscles, and visceral muscles. Both skeletal and cardiac muscles have striations. Visceral muscles or smooth muscles do not have striations. For a diagram, you can refer the page 76. What is the specific function of cardiac muscle? Cardiac muscles are the muscles that are associated with the structure of the heart. They are present in the walls of the chambers of the heart. Cardiac muscles, they exhibit rhythmic contraction and relaxation throughout the life without any fatigue under normal conditions. Right? So, from the time of birth until the time of death, they keep on contracting and relaxing, contracting and relaxing. They do not undergo fatigue, even though they are getting contracted and relaxed continuously throughout the life, if the conditions are normal. Okay, if the conditions are abnormal, they also may undergo fatigue and they may stop functioning, and it may lead to cardiac arrest also. Right? So, under normal conditions, throughout the life, rhythmic contractions and relaxations do take place in cardiac muscles. Eighth question. Differentiate the striated, unstriated and cardiac muscles based on their structure and site or location in the body. Even though the question has asked only two things, here I am providing everything about them. Striated muscles, they are also called skeletal muscles or striped muscles. Unstriated muscles, they are also called smooth muscles or visceral muscles. Cardiac muscles, there is no any specific other name for them. Why skeletal muscles, why striated muscles are called skeletal muscles? Because these muscles are associated with the skeleton. So they are called striated muscles. Why unstriated muscles are called visceral muscles? Because these muscles are present in the visceral organs like stomach, iris of the eye, etc. And cardiac muscles, why are they called cardiac muscles? Because they are present in the walls of the heart chambers, right? If you take individual cells of the striated muscles, individual cell of the striated muscle will have blunt ends. They have blunt ends. Whereas the individual cells of the unstriated muscles or smooth muscles have pointed ends. And cardiac muscle cells have zigzag ends. And each cell in the striated muscle, it is having many nuclei. So the cells of the striated muscle are multinucleated. In unstriated and cardiac muscles, the cells are uninucleated, means they have only single nucleus. The striated muscles, they contract rapidly but undergoes fatigue. Means whenever it is required, they contract rapidly. Striated muscles, they are not going to contract slowly, but they undergo fatigue. Unstriated muscles or smooth muscles, they contract slowly, but they do not get fatigue in normal conditions. And cardiac muscles, they contract rapidly, but they do not get fatigue in normal conditions. As it is already discussed, skeletal muscles are striped or striated because lines are present in them. Unstriated muscles, the name itself implies they do not have any striations or stripes. So they are smooth. Unstriated muscles are smooth. And cardiac muscles, they are also striated like skeletal muscles. Skeletal muscles are voluntary in action, means by our thinking only they contract or relax. Whereas the unstriated muscles and cardiac muscles, they are involuntary, without our involvement, that is our thinking, they contract and relax. In skeletal muscle cells, alternate light and dark bands or striations are present. In the case of cardiac muscles, not alternate but regular, faint striations are present. In both are striated only, cardiac and skeletal. What is the difference? In skeletal muscles, the striations are dark and they are alternate light and dark. Alternate light and dark bands. In the case of cardiac muscles, they are faint regular striations, not alternate light and dark. In the case of smooth muscles, what about the striations? No striations only. There are no striations in smooth muscles. And ninth question, draw a labeled diagram of a neuron. You can refer page number 77 for the diagram. Okay. 10th question, name the following. A. Tissue that forms the inner lining of our mouth. Epithelial tissue. Tissue that connects muscle to bone in humans. Tendon, which is one type of connective tissue. Tissue that transports food in plants. Phloem, it is a vascular tissue, complex permanent tissue. Tissue that stores fat in our body. Adipose tissue. And connective tissue with fluid matrix. There is only one connective tissue with fluid matrix, that is blood. Tissue present in the brain, nervous tissue. Here A, B, C, D, E, F are given, but I have written like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Okay, don't get confused. Next, identify The type of tissue in the following: skin, bark of tree, bone, lining of kidney tubule, vascular bundle. Skin is squamous epithelial tissue. Skin is squamous epithelial tissue. Next, bark of a tree. It is a sclerenchymatous tissue, and bark is made up of cork. It is a protective tissue. Bone, it is a type of hard connective tissue. Lining of kidney tubule, cuboidal epithelial tissue, so that they resist with more friction. Vascular bundle, complex permanent tissue. 12th question. Name the regions in which parenchyma tissue is present. Parenchyma is present in leaves in the form of chlorenchyma, especially in the leaf mesophyll area, and in storage parts and soft parts of the plant like cortex of roots and stems. Especially it is present in ground tissues. What is ground tissue? If you take any structure, root, leaf, stem, you can find outer epidermis and inner vascular bundles. Between the epidermis and vascular bundles, the remaining area is known as ground tissue. Right? So regarding this in your 11th class, you will learn completely. Right? So in this ground tissue, this parenchyma is present mostly. Next, what is the role of epidermis in plants? Epidermis is the protective tissue that covers the entire plant body. It protects the plant body from environmental pressures like heat, cold, wind abrasions, and even from the attack of various parasitic fungi and bacteria. Epidermis has tiny pores in it with which epidermis allows gaseous exchange and transpiration in leaves. Epidermis is covered by a waxy layer which is known as cuticle, and this cuticle prevents the water loss or reduces the water loss, being waxy in nature. Next question. How does the cork act as a protective tissue? How does the cork act as a protective tissue? In matured tree stems, the epidermis is replaced by cork. The cells of cork are dead because they are made up of sclerenchymatous tissue, and they are arranged without intercellular spaces, so highly compact. This compact arrangement of cells do not allow many parasitic invasions, and they have deposition of suberin on their cell walls, so that the cells become impervious to gases and water. Right? Next, complete the following chart. Some permanent tissues of plant body are given. Simple, complex, and from left side to right side, if you carefully observe, first gap, simple tissues are of three types. Parenchyma, sclerenchyma, and cholenchyma. So here cholenchyma is given, so remaining two things are parenchyma and sclerenchyma. And in complex tissues, we know xylem and phloem are there. So xylem is already given, so remaining thing is phloem. This is about the entire answers of the exercises. You will have to write in your notebook so that you can prepare better, okay, for all the upcoming exams. Thank you.